Quintus Horatius Flaccus was born on December 8, 65 BCE, a date of rare precision in the history of an ancient life. Quintus means fifth, but did not necessarily mean that Horace was a fifth child. Horatius was the name of a mythical hero who had saved the early Roman Republic from the return of an invading king. There were many boys called Horatius. Flaccus means limp in a sexual sense, or feeble more generally. Not an ideal name for a sensitive child, but useful when Horace wanted to make himself the butt of his own jokes. None of these names were any more than a name. In an age when the name of ancestors, real or fabricated, were important for success, Horace had no ancestry that mattered beyond his father, who had once been a slave. In Rome, the aristocrat Lucius Manlius Torquatus was one of the two ruling consuls, the first of his family in 100 years to revive its glorious political past, a history which mattered only to the Manlii family, but mattered very much to them. Torquatus was undistinguished himself, but his colleague as Rome's chief executive was Lucius Aurelius Cotta, from the heart of the city's ruling clique, whose sister was married to the young Julius Caesar. Although these consuls' success had come from prosecuting their opponents for bribery rather than any more glamorous campaigns, that was of little account. Even in the small town of Venusia, 150 miles southeast of Rome, where Horace began his life, the year of his birth would always be known as the year of these consuls. Venusia was Roman. It was the town of Venus, Rome's goddess of love. It had strong walls astride the Appian Way, Rome's first highway south, and the route for goods and soldiers going east to Greece. Venusia had also been a recent enemy of Rome. It was Oscan, a people whom Romans had not easily taken into their empire of Latin. Venusia recognized its own mythical founder, Daunus. Everywhere in southern Italy, identities were mixed and obscured. Latin could be written in Greek letters, Oscan in the Etruscan alphabet of Rome's sometime kings. There were Venusians whose first language was Greek and who traced their history to the Homeric hero Diomedes, said to have passed by after the Trojan War. Horace's home was a contested town, militarily 5 years before his birth, culturally always. Above Venusia stood Mount Voltor, a low, glowering peak whose slopes shifted from grey to blue with the passing hours and whose farmers moved with the seasons, keeping their goats high up during the summer and down in the valleys in winter. It was a landscape of thick woods, poplar, cypress, ash and pine. Close and to the north was the clattering river Aufidus, a torrent of noise in December when Horace was born, meaner in the months when the flocks needed it most. A little to the east, beside the Appian Way, was the Bandusian Spring, a well-known site for watering the thirsty.